Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and I loved this game when I played it last night. This is the Artisan of Glimmith, where we are placing tiles in or glass tiles into places in order to solve logic puzzles. And this is BremSter Puzzles and BremSter Games, and this game, I dreamed about this game last night. It really got into my head. So I wanted to play more of it, and this is how I do that. I'm playing it on stream. So am I interrupting things and probably breaking everyone's flow, including mine? And the channels? Absolutely. But I wanted to return to this game and do more of it. So I've solved 73 of the puzzles in this one, and that's the one I'm returning to. So I'm going to start with a difficulty 2 puzzle. So, ooh, holy cow. So the way this works is I'm having to place glass tiles. On this one, it could be any of them, but each region that I create has to have all of the tiles exactly once. So I can see that this must go down because I can't, if I went this way, I'd have 2 blues, and that doesn't work. I must continue to go down because I'd have 2 greens, and then I can't go down and pick up another yellow. So that is the end of that region. Now I must go down here the same, and then I must go down here the same, and I can't go across, so I must go down here the same, and that is the border of this region. Now, this blue now must pick up this and this because it's bounded. Then I do that, and that picks up this region. Now this goes down. Okay, the green goes up, and then the green goes up, but it can't go up again. So it's that. So this is a new region. Then the purple must come out. So this doesn't pick up this yellow because this now must come out, because this can't connect up because then there'd be 2 blues in this region. And now this green must come out, and then the green must continue completing this region. Now this can't pick up that, continue, because it'll pick up the wrong thing. So that completes the purple region. This must come out, and it can't pick up the yellow. So that completes that region, and we're done. I'm loving this game. Now these are the easy ones. There's a 3, there's a 3, there's a 4. I'm terrified of the 4s. There's a 2. Let's do the 2. So I've only got 2 different shapes to play with here, a single cell region and 4 cell regions, but each region must be one of those shapes. Now I can never draw a she sells seashells by the seashore. I can never draw a 4 cell straight region out of this red without it hitting another one. So that must be a single cell region. But I have the same here. I can never draw a 4 cell region. This must be a single cell region. And if this was a single cell region, it wouldn't contain anything. So that is a 4 cell region, which I could change the color of if I wanted to. Now, this can't be a single cell region. So that's a 4 cell region, which again, I can change the color of if I wanted to. It's my mosaic and I'll... Yeah, okay, let's not bother with that. That's a 4 cell region. Now, this is a 4 cell region. Now, this is a single cell region. Now, this has to be part of a 4 cell region, otherwise the corner gets trapped. This now has to be part of a single cell region, so this could be part of a 4 cell region, and then these are just 2 4 cell regions. Ha-ha! 3, there's a 2 hidden over there. Let's do that to warm up for the morning. Okay, ooh, so I've got shapes like this, and then I can expand each of them by 1. Okay, so surely that is a region, because how else does this red get a blue? So what do I do with that cell? Because while this makes sense... Ah, no, I see, because then you do that, and that, that. Okay. I did that 2 before. There's still 1 more 2 here. Okay, so no shape restrictions here, but I still need to make it work. So this blue needs to come out, otherwise it connects up. It still must come out. It still must come out. So this blue comes out to here. Let's change the color of that one. Let's make it something a bit more obvious. And then let's use yellow for this one that must come out and pick up this. So red must continue. Yellow must continue, but can't hit another yellow. But red must continue. Blue must come out. Now, well, it's tempting to say blue picks this up. Blue must pick up all of this because the only channel out for blue is through here. So this is all blue. And it's not quite the same for yellow because red needs to come into here. So yellow needs to leave a passage for red to come in like that because red had to come in and get this yellow. Ha, I'm learning stuff. Now blue has to come through, yellow needs to come through, and that becomes red. Ooh, okay. Ooh, we've got an extra symbol. Now, on each side of these borders, they must be different color regions. So blue, if blue picks up this red, how does this blue get out? It can't come out this way. So blue must come out this way. It must pick up that purple because otherwise it's got to come out this way and it doesn't work. It can't continue, so it must come out. So that is a border. That is a border. Now this red must come out. Now this must be a different color again. It's tempting to say yellow has to hit this, except it can't. This is not yellow or orange because it's a different color and it must come out. Now, orange must continue. Now, orange could just wrap around the outside and give blue some freedom in here. Actually, that looks like it's likely, doesn't it? I think I could see how this works, but I'm not sure how to logically prove it. It's another one of those. It looks like, oh, hang on, orange can't come through here because then it'd hit another red. So orange has to come through here. But then something else has to come in here. So this is yet a different color because orange can't pick up a blue. That's orange hitting its green, and this must come through, and that completes the bottom one. Orange is done. Blue must come out, must come down because it can't hit another green. And that actually connects up and becomes purple, and that becomes yellow. That's cool. Okay, one of each symbol. One of each symbol. Okay, but we've still got the differing colors. Now I've got 3 colors to play with. Hey, Chip. I've got 3 colors to play with, and these must have different colors. But this is one color, and this is the other. I feel like this is where I start. But I might be wrong about that. Okay, the logical proof here might be... I've only got 3 colors to play with. No, because that traps this in. Oh, no. that could do that. And then green can just fill all of that. Okay. Okay, this is about getting the passages of the two regions through, because I've got no greens over here and no reds over here. So whatever this is different. And I've only got two regions. So orange must come up and yellow must come down. So now orange comes through here and yellow comes through here. But yellow must hit this bottom one because I mean, it's a different yellow, but it will connect up. This must be yellow and this must be orange because it's separated by a wall. So surely that means orange has to do that and then pick up this green and no, it can't pick up that. No. Pick up that green and that blue. Then that gets that red. Yellow gets all of those. That's cool. And you could see how the logic in the middle had to work. Let's try and do some more threes before I do a four. There's a three. So this comes out and this comes out. I've only got two colors. So this is the red region and this is the orange region. This is the orange region. This is the red region. Okay, let's make the red blue. That'll give us more color distinction. But this green needs to get out without trapping this in. I could see how I could do this through trial and error, but I'm trying to do this through logical proof. So if blue came through here, for orange to connect up to here, aren't I trapping blue in? Like, it's a yin-yang problem. So surely this has to be orange. But then how do I connect the orange? Hang on, how do I connect the oranges and blues up? I do it by making this orange and that blue. And now those all need to be blue. These all need to be orange. Blue needs to get a yellow and a green. But orange needs to get to a red. Okay, so this isn't it either. Hang on a minute. If these were different, this feels like a yin-yang problem. Because I'm only working with two regions. There's kind of a hint here. If these were two different colors, if this was blue and this was orange, however I connect up orange, I'm separating blue. So this has to be orange and this has to be blue. And now if I don't do this and this, I'm cutting them off. But now this has to be blue. And this has to be blue. But then this has to be orange and this has to be orange. Except so that doesn't work. So this has to be blue. Well, this has to be blue. 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 So this has to be blue. And then all of those have to be orange. No, that doesn't work either. I've got two blues in blue. This needs to be orange. This needs to be blue. Right, so, oh, good Lord, the control on this has gotten weird. I never had this problem in hours last night. Okay. That was a tricky one. But it was yin-yang. I could see that that was going on. Are there any other hidden puzzles? They're all 3, so let's do this 3. Okay, everything must be an L tetromino. So where do I start this? Red must come out here. And it can't go left or right. So that's the shape of the L tetromino. So yeah, must come out. I can't turn 2 in that direction and that direction. So that's the 2 and I can't turn that way. That is one of the L tetrominos. Now this is part of an L tetromino. It can't have 2 in that direction. So it must only have 1 in that direction and then 2 in that direction. That seems correct. Now this can't go 2 down and it can't go 2 across. So it has to go like that. I can't see any other way of doing that. And then it looks like it has to be that. 2 and then it can't pick up another red. 2 and it can't pick that up. Then you get... No, that's not it. Oh. This is broken. This looks broken, doesn't it? So where did I go wrong here? This must come out. It can't turn. It must pick up those. So I must have made a mistake up here. Oh yeah, this could go this way. So, okay, I missed a logical step here. Where's the logical step that I missed? And this is the problem with saying, well, this could go this way. I need to prove what it must do. Now, it may be these corners, because this has to go 2 in one direction and 1 in the other. So it's... I could do something like that, but then that would trap this. So that doesn't work. So I can't do that. And I can't do that, because that would then trap this in. So this has to go 2 in one direction. And it feels like that can't work. Hey, Eric, because if I did that, how would I get out of this problem? No, that would... no, I'm not seeing the logical step here. I am not seeing the logical step here. Like this... It must pick up those 3, as far as I can tell, because I can't go down. But I can't see which one it picks up. Is it this? This shape here? Like, if this doesn't come down here, I'd have to do that. And then how do I complete this? Because this would have to come out, it would have to come down again, and whichever way I turn, I'm making a dead end. Because, yeah, if this doesn't come down here, the only way to complete this, I couldn't do that, that's broken, so I'd have to do that. And then however I complete this, I can't go 2 in either direction, and this leaves an orphan cell. So this must come down here. And that caused it to break last time. Because this is part of a 2 now, and I can't come down here, I must come down here. This is what I did last time, but it turned out to be broken. This must come down, it can't turn 2 in either direction, so it must come down again. I can't pick up a red, it must pick up this. This is the same logic I did last time, but it didn't work. Because I ended up here, and then I was broken, but I just ended up in exactly the same place. So this is part of a 2. It can't go up here. So it must go up here. And then I can't... Oh, I could do that. And then that, and then that. Okay. Wow, this is... And they were the 3s. Oh, there's something hidden in here. There's a 4 hidden in there. I may as well do that while I can see it. Ugh. So I'm only working with red, blue, and yellow. It's so tempting to just pick up this, but I don't know that. Okay, now, red could hook up to yellow. Blue can't continue, and if blue went this... Or hang on, this can't be blue or purple, so this is another color coming out. So purple must go up. Green must continue. Orange is still looking for a yellow. But if it came down, it would trap in purple. Because purple needs to get a blue. It's got to be one of these 2. So it feels like it's got to do something like that. Otherwise, orange is trapped. And then I could kind of do that. Oof. So these are 3 different colors. Maybe it's tempting to do that, but I don't know that for sure. The region in here can't be... Actually, I think this is wrong. I think that comes in here. So this can come out. Like that. No, because... Right, this could never get a symbol now. Right, I see my problem. I have problems. If I take that in there, this could never get a symbol. I must do that. But now I might be able to do this. And then maybe that. Yellow doesn't have a symbol. But that's because I've got too many regions. No, I'm thinking about this the wrong way. I'm definitely thinking about this the wrong way. Red, blue, green, yellow. This could be green or red only. What could this be other than blue? I'm aware of the border problem, Eric, but I'm just trying to see how... Because for red to get down here, it would have to come through here, which would cause a border problem. Or through here, which would cause another, which would lock everything up. So this has to be green. Which does something like that. But then I've got border problems everywhere. It's okay, Butterfly. You've missed the easy introductory puzzles for sure. If this is green, the only way to connect those up is to run green through here. Whichever this is, green or red, it must run all through here. Because it's the only way to connect them up without running through blue. Now, I could make blue do that. But how do I get enough colors over here? If I run green up, I'm trapped. I can't get anything into here. If I go this way, I can't get anything into there. But the same problem occurs if I make this red. This is hard. This is difficulty 4. I think this is harder than the 7 I did. Or maybe not. But this has to be green or red. If this is red, red has to come through here. And if I run red through here, I've trapped something. And if I run red up through here, there's no way I can fill all of this because this has now come all red. And even if I put red into here, I still can't get red up to the top without trapping everything. So this has to be green. Well, I can only run yellow to there. But green still has to keep getting through. And now this is trapped. I can't put green there and I can't put anything else there. But what fills this space? How do I connect up green without leaving this lost? So green can get to there and must stop. Red can go down there. And now I can't connect up the greens. And this has to be red or green, because it can't be blue or yellow, because then I've got border issues. This is the hardest puzzle in the game so far. But if it's red, I can't come out through here because this is a different color. It has to come through here, and it must continue because it can't be yellow. It could take this square, but that dead ends it. I then can't get up to where red is, and it's the same with green. If it's red, it has to... I mean, if it's red, it can't come this way because it has to hit this, which it can't do. So if it's red, it can't come into here. It would have to do that, and I've completely isolated the colors. So it can't be red. It absolutely must be green. And I can't run green up because now yellow is isolated. Oh. No, because I can't get blue out now. Or maybe I can. Holy shit! That was hard. I'm dreading this 6. Okay, where's the starting point for this one? So this red is taking one of these blues. So I'm only working with 3 colors. If red went this way, I couldn't. If this red went this way, I couldn't go to any of the reds. I could go to the green, but then I could never get a yellow. So it can't go that way because now I'm completely dead-ended. So red must go down. If I went this way, I could never get a yellow. I must go down, and now I must get the green. That's forced. If I go down, I could get a green, but I could then never get a yellow. So this one must go this way. I now can't go down. I must go here, and then I must go into a green. That's forced. Let's change color. This now must go down. If I went down, the only way I could get a blue would be to come here trapping a cell. So that is forced. If blue went up, I could only run into a blue. So blue must go across. I can't run into another blue. It must go down. And now I must pick up a green immediately. That seems forced. This must come out. I can't run into a yellow and then I must pick up a red. That seems forced. I mean, it looks like it's just that now. It's just not an elegant way of showing it, but that seems to be the thing. Oh, there's a hidden 3 over here. Okay, they must either be squares or 3 of a kind. This must be part of a square because I can't draw 3 in a row without picking up a second shape. So that is forced. Where do we go from here? This one could be 3, but if this was now I need logical proofs of stuff. This can't be a 2x2. Because if it was a 2x2, I'm broken. So it's 3 in this direction or 3 in this direction. So it's part of a 3. If this was a 3, this would have to be a 3. If this was a 3, this would have to be a 3. I can't put a 2x2 in here. This is part of a 3, and it can't go down. That's the 3, which means this is the 3, which means this is a 3, which now means this is a 3. This can't be part of a 2x2, and it can't be a 3 in this direction. This is a 3. This can't be part of a 2x2. This can't be part of a 2x2, so this is part of a 3, but I don't know which direction it goes. This could be part of a 2x2. This can't be part of a 2x2. So this is absolutely part of a 3. If I draw these in, I'm making progress, right? If it's a 3 up, this now must be part of a 2x2. This must be part of a 3. If it's a 3 going up, this cell is dead. So this must be part of a 3 going that way. I can't just draw all 3s, because if I draw all 3s, I've got the wrong cell count. In fact, it must be 2x2, 2x2, 3, and 3 to get the right cell count. So what's this? This is how I lose all of the time up to the start of my workday. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different regions. Hang on, how's that going to work? Hang on, we've got a problem here. And I think this is part of how the puzzle's going to work, but I don't quite see it. You can see it clearly here, I think. There are 3 of each of green and purple in here, but there's only 3 ways out. That cell, and that cell. Maybe I've chosen bad colors here. So these must all link up. So the blue must come in, the orange must come in. So basically it has to do that, that, and that, right? That blue doesn't need to come to there, but those are, that might not be, no, that must come out. But the blue could come down. That seems forced because there's only 3 ways out of that. And there's only 3 ways out of this. Here, here, and here. How do I get that cell? Like, maybe like that. Then this has to come up. This has to come up. This has to come out. Does that mean these are part of the same region? Maybe, like this blue and this blue may be part of the same region. Actually, I've got the same here with here, 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 and here. Oh, this puzzle is weird. And we've got the same up here with here, here, and here. I mean, that could pick up all of those, but that doesn't work. This needs to get a green without chopping off these yellows from these other 2. Or does it? Because this blue could get its green out here. This only needs to provide 2 yellows and 3 greens. But no, this blue does need to hit a green, because otherwise there's no other color that can pick it up. This blue does need to hit a green. Arg! The yellow's not the problem. The green is the problem. Discord message from... So how... This is kind of a weird yin-yang problem, and I'm not very good at yin-yang. Hopefully I'll be better at yin-yang after this. How does this get a green? Because if I just come off, the blue can't get a yellow. So I can't just come across and get that one. If I come across and get that, then this could come up and around and get a yellow. That works, doesn't it? And now down here, each of these needs a purple and a red. So this red must come out this way and then must avoid the purples. I get the feeling it's going to be that, which I'm going to make red. Then I think this one grabs those and possibly comes to here, so this can grab those. That seems okay as well. Okay, so now I need to hook these up. In a way, well, I've still got to do the top one, but I've got 4 ways out of this channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, not 3. So where's the link up happening? Like this has got a blue, a yellow. I could pick up, I need to get a green into this. Without picking up a yellow, I need to get a green into this. It's got to be this one, doesn't it? Or one of these. But I don't think I can make this pick up one of these without trapping one of these. So this, I think, has to pick up this. I'm going to draw these borders in. I'm going to go to border drawing mode so I can't accidentally change anything else. I think these borders, actually I'm not sure about that one. Okay. So it makes me feel that these 2 regions have to be the same, because if they don't connect up directly, they're going to cause a problem. It makes me also feel that these 2 regions have to be the same, because if they don't connect up directly, we're going to have a problem. And then these 2 regions need a red. So they're just going to come and get that one, right? Because otherwise we're going to run out of options. And these 2 regions, yellow, green, red, purple, these need to connect up directly. And then they need a blue. And if they don't pick up that one, we're going to have a problem. So it is going to be something in here, but I've got multiple ways out. But this green is going to have to come through in here, and this purple is going to have to come through in here. And it's going to need to pick up a red and a blue, and then a purple, meaning this blue needs to come out this way, which means it connect up with that. Don't know about that cell. This still needs a green, which is doing something like that. This now has to come out, but can't pick up the yellow. So the orange picks up the yellow before it comes up. It can still pick up those. This is ambiguous. They say there's only a single solution, but I don't see why these two cells can't be part of either this blue or the orange. Yellow is complete. This needs to hook up with a red and a blue, and this needs to hook up with a red and a blue. And green needs to... Hang on, what have I got wrong here? There is no blue in blue. So let's undo all of this garbage. But surely these need to link up. And there was something in here. And these need, not via there, but these need to link up. And that needs that. But now I need a blue. No, this is, is the count right in this? This, okay, we're back here. If these reds don't connect up, how the heck, and the same with the yellow, and the same with these, we're going to be cutting stuff off. That absolutely feels forced to me. And the only way this red can get a blue is with that one, without cutting anything off. Because it needs a single blue. So it's got to be something like that. But I also need a single blue for the blue region. So the blue has to connect up here. No, it can't connect up here. No, the blue connects over here. So this now connects over that way. And now it needs a green. This needs a red. This needs a green. Yeah, this makes more sense. This green absolutely must come in and hug this, the same way that this must come in and hug this. And the green, I mean, it kind of feels like it must do something like this. But now the orange needs a red and a blue. So it feels like it comes up and does something like that. But now this is missing its yellow, so it's not that. So the orange... Oh, wow. So this purple... So if this blue comes across and gets like a red and a blue, it could pick up the purple. Where's this going to get its purple from? That doesn't work. I am really lost. Hang on, where's this going to... This doesn't make sense. It says there's a logic path to all of these, but I'm not seeing the pair-ups. If these don't connect up... If these outer ones don't connect up, they're trapped. Now this one gives us some leeway because this could do something like that and then this could loop around like this. So there's a little bit of leeway in this one because there's 4 ways in. But these outer ones, the outer bits must connect. But there's only 1 free blue in here. So it feels like it's got to be something like that. Chat goes silent just when I am completely lost. I mean, the other option, and it's option, I don't see the logic here. Like, I don't see how you can logically deduce it from here without just trying stuff, is that this connects up with this green, picking up a red on the way through. But then where would this get its red? If I connect this up like this, there's no red for the blue to get. So these have to connect up this way. And this green must be yellow. I can't see any other way of doing this. And this blue must be part of red. Like, it must be. Because otherwise I'm trapping stuff in. And those are forced by the fact that there's only 3 ways into those corners. I mean, this must come out. But this needs a red, which you can only get from there. That can connect up, but that traps everything. Now, this could run around here, but that traps everything. What's the logic I've missed here? If these outer bits don't connect up, the only thing I can think of is these outer bits don't connect up, but then they trap stuff in. Like, if I don't connect these up and I connect this to blue or whatever it was, like connect it this way, these bits are trapped. So it doesn't work. These must connect up. And as soon as they must connect up, the only thing they can do is pick up this freeform green. And it's the same with these. It must pick up this freeform red, which means this must come out. But yellow must come out to get toward the green, which means this must come up. Purple has its yellow. So it must do something like that, and then everything's trapped. I don't understand this puzzle. I thought the corner deductions and the passages out was really clever. Like, green must come around or it's going to trap something. But the logic here completely eludes me. Hey, Kana, it's about, I mean, it varies on each of them, but it's about placing shapes into the grid so that you meet the rules. And on this one, I've got to place regions so that each region picks up exactly one of each shape. And this is this is the second hardest puzzle I've done so far. Actually, I think this is the hardest puzzle I've done so far. By the game difficulty, it's the second. So, have I made a mistake with the initial logic I did in these corners? There's only 3 ways out of these. There's only 3 passages out, and there's 3 of each colour. So I have to make a pattern in here that picks up one of each colour. That all seems valid. I can't see another way of doing that. Because if I like connect these up, I'm putting 2 of each of these colors in. So this must be a different color to orange, different color to blue, because there's only 3 paths out. Same is true here, same is true here, same is true here. If I don't connect this to this, like if I was to connect this yellow green to anything other than the red, this red purple down here, like if I was to try and connect it to that, I've trapped a region. It doesn't work. So this must connect to that. It absolutely must. Because otherwise I'm trapping something. It is the same with that yellow, and it is the same with that blue. I can't see any other way for that to work. The logic there seems sound. But after that, everything falls apart. So orange needs to pick up a red and a blue, and then it needs to get a yellow. It feels like it needs to get, like, those. But then green can't get out. That works. And then this could come in and get that red blue, and green could come out that way. But now we've got a problem. we've got a different problem here, which is if I do this, green needs to pick up a yellow, but there's no free yellow. So I don't think this is correct. I think orange must connect up here. Except it can't. That traps in blue. Blue needs a red, which it can only get from there. But I could then run orange around like that. And then orange needs a red, which I might be able to do by doing something like that. Dropping this out, picking up that. And that gets me an extra blue. That gets me an extra blue. Now this region still needs its purple, which is there. These connect up. No, not that way though. Because red needs its blue. These connect up. Holy shit! And I just got an achievement called 6-7 because I've completed a difficulty 6 and a difficulty 7. Hey, Sweaty Booger, I don't know that I've seen you here before. Welcome? That was bonkers. I'm looking forward to some easier puzzles for a bit because that is... Oh, I got 33 out of 33 plus 1. So where am I going now? Esteemed artisan, I apologize for the preponderance of constraints I've laid upon your work. Many further rules are yet to come. This area is optional. You may proceed as soon as 4 windows are complete. I commend your diligence and persistence. So which was the way I was supposed to go? I mean, I've done all of this stuff. Which is the actual direction if that's not it? Okay, shape bank. All regions must be this shape. So considering I have to come out like that, doesn't that mean it must be that? And then we must do that. And then we must do that. And then we must do that. This is all feeling forced, and I bet it's going to break at some point. Okay, that worked. Oh, and it jumped straight to a 3 difficulty. Woohoo. Oh no, there's some 2s over there. Okay, so this is playing with way more tricky shapes. So that's part of a 2. So surely that means it must be that, right? And then it must be that. And then that. And then that. Okay. Yeah, this is getting tricky. So that's part of a 2, which I think must connect to that. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Oh, no, I could do that and then that, but that doesn't work either. I know it does, because then I could do that. Then I could do that, and that's broken. Okay, so I think I better think it out again. Okay, so logic solving here. Why start now? If we do that, and then we do that, and then we do that, and then we do not a border, we do that. Okay, this shape, placing tricky shapes, is kind of melting my brain. Yeah, these are all, there's a 5 up here of placing tricky shapes. Where have all the 2s gone? I want my 2-2 train back. There's a 2. Oh, this is a 2, is it? Okay, I feel that this has to be 1, 3, 2. No, it can't be that. So, okay, this is complete nonsense. So what can fit in here? It has to come out. I don't think it can do, yeah, it can't do the shape in the order that it's listed here. So it has to do a 3 here. Then it has to do that. Right, it has to do that. That is forced. And then we've got here, we've got 3, 2, 3, 1. And they're all part of the same shape. Then we've got 3, 2, 3, 1. And that's part of the same shape. Then we've got 1, 3, 2, 3. And that's part of the same shape. Then we've got 1, 3, 2, 3. And that's part of the same shape. Then we've got 1, 3, 2, 3. And that's part of the same shape. And I think we're broken. Nope, because we can go 3, 2, 3, 1. And 3, 2, 3, 1. And 3, 2, 3, 1. Haha! I did a jigsaw! Here's a 2. So this must come out, this must come out, this must come out, this must come out. I could have done different colors. So how is this going to work? Well, this has come out. I feel that this must do this, and then it must come up or down in one of those two. Was there another way of doing that? Because I've got to put a 3 long in every piece. And with this coming out, I can't do a 3 long down. Yeah, this must be the 3 long. And then it comes up or down here. The 3 long on this one, again, must be here. No, that doesn't work. Ah. Ah. But this must come out and have a 3 long, which must be there. So it must be that and that. And then it must be that. And then it must be that. No, 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 no. And that. And then that. And then that. Whew. Right. Why isn't this just that, and then that, and then that? It's going to be a count issue, isn't it? And then that, 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 and then that. Okay, it was just that. Why was that a 3? I'm very confused. Only on larger puzzles, guessing can get you into big trouble. Only color shapes you know for sure. Sure. Great. Yep. This must come out and it must turn. So that's done. This must come out and it must turn. So that is done. This would cause a dead end. So it must be that. This has to... That basically has to be that. There's no other way for that to work. This now must bend. This must bend. Because I'm only working with this shape. This must bend in here because that's got to be part of a bend. Then this must bend here. This must bend here. This must bend here. This must bend here now. This must bend here. This must bend here. With this bending here. With this bending here. With this coming out and must fill up the gap. This must bend here. Nope, that's wrong. That mustn't. That could go that way, then that way, then that way. So I was right up until the end when it got easy. There's a 2. They hit a 2. Okay. So that must come out. It either goes straight or it W's. Now, if I was to W here, that's going to cause a problem. So, right, forget this. This must do that. Because if I W here, this has caused a problem. And if I do that, it's caused a different problem. So this must do that. And then this must do that. That feels forced. Now this must W to get out. Okay, now, if this goes straight, well, is it here? If this W's, oh, that's fine. That's the solution. If I do a W here, you can see that that's a W and that's a bend, and we're done. Okay. Back to the bank. Restore the shape bank window. That's a shape bank window? Oh, no, I restored the window. I restored this window. Okay. Cool. What else have I got? There's another 2. This must come out, so it's not part of a 2x2. I don't think that could be part of a plus. If that was part of a plus, I could do a 3 in here. Oh, no, I could make that part of a plus. Never mind. But that must come out. Is it over here that I start? This must come out, and this must come out. This can't be part of a plus, and it can't be part of a 2x2. This is part of a 3. So this now must be part of a plus, because if it was part of a 3, then this cell would be isolated. So this is part of a plus. And this is part of a plus now, because if it was part of a 3, then we would be isolated. Haha. I have progressed. This is now part of a 2x2. Is that true? It can't. This cell here, I can't draw 3 in either direction, and I can't make it part of a plus. That is part of a 2x2. Same here, I think. I can't do 3 in either direction, and I can't make it part of a plus. That is a 2x2. Now this must come out, and if I make it part of a 3, we're broken, so that's part of a plus, because I would have orphaned a cell. This now must be part of a 3, because I can't make it part of a plus or a 2x2, so we get that. This must be part of a 3 because I can't make it plus or a 2x2. This must be a 3. And we're broken. Nope. No, we're not. That's a 2x2 and that's a 3. Not broken. BremSter stupid. So this must come out. Whatever color this is, these are different. Or more importantly, these are different to the yellow. Oh, this can't be part of a 5. So this is this shape. And now this must be part of a 5 because I can't draw the little P in there. And I can't draw a P in here. Like, this can't be part of a P. Yes, it could. I could draw that. There's no reason why this can't be part of a P. I could have a P. Okay, so this feels forced, but where do we go from here? Because I don't see why this couldn't be a straight 5 and then I put a P in here. Seems perfectly valid. This can't be part of a 5. So this has to be part of a P. Yeah, I can't put a 5 in here. So this must come out, but it can't be part of a 5. So this is part of a P. There you go. And now this, is there a reason why this can't be 2 5s? Like, could I just do that? That would cause a problem there. Right, so what is this? If this was part of a 5, it would have to come down, and then this area here is broken. So this is actually part of a P. And I can't do that because that leaves an orphan cell. So it's that and then one of those two feels correct. And if it was here, I can't get out of here. So it's that. And now this can't be part of a 5, so this is part of a P. And now this is absolutely part of a 5. Now this comes out, can't be part of a 5, so it must be part of a P and it must bend that way. This is now part of a 5. This must be 2 Ps, because if I put a 5 in, I've trapped something. So that's a P and that's a P. And now I have to make this by P'ing twice. As soon as I try and be clever, everyone leaves the stream. Makes perfect sense to me. The first law of puzzling. Whenever you find a pair of cells that must be connected, join them together. I thought that was procreation. So, I think it's trying to say that these must be connected, but I don't see why that's the case. It's saying you must join these together. I don't see that that is true. Like, why can't that be truth? And why isn't that truth everywhere? Like, why couldn't I do something like that? I mean, I can't do a 3 here. No, I could do a 3 here. There's all sorts of options for... This is BremSter Puzzles, Eric. This will get collaborated to BremSter Games when the video is processed. Okay, this is a difficulty 3. How do I start this? I mean, that is why you can't do 3 there. But it's... That's a chain though. If you do a 3 here, but why couldn't I do a 3 here, a 3 here, and then a 2 by, or a 3 here, and then a 2 by 2 here? Because I still end up with a 3 here. And if I do a 3 here and a 2 by 2 here, I still end up... So, is the problem I can't put a 3 here? Because then this cell becomes trapped. So I can't do a 3 here. This cell must be connected to those. So it's these two cells must be connected. It's not those two that must be connected. It's those two that must be connected and those two that must be connected. Now, it's possible they're part of the same region, but those must be connected. So this can't go down. So this must connect there. But this one could go down. But now we know that that must go there. But this one could go up. Well, what's this tortoise? Tortoise. What's this turtle? So these must be connected. That's true, isn't it? However we do this, if this goes down, then it's a 2 by 2. Otherwise, this is a 3 and this must come out. So these are always connected. And then the same is true here, isn't it? But this can't be part of a 2 by 2. That is... Hang on, now we're broken. No, we're not. That must be part of a 3. And now this must be part of a 3. And now this must be part of a 3. Now these two are connected and these two are connected. And now this must be part of a 3. And now this must be part of a 3. And now these must be 3s. So that these can be connected, that can be a 3, that be a 2 by 2, these be connected, and that be a 2 by 2. What region is not one of those shapes? Three, 3, 3, 3. There we go. I missed that one. That was clever and smarter than me. And if that's the 3, I'm terrified for the 4 and 5. Oh my Lord. So these must be connected. These must be connected. These must be connected because it's either a 2 by 2 or a 3 by 3. So these must be 2 by 2s. These must be 2 by 2s. So that's locked in. Those are locked in. No, yeah, these are locked in. This must be a 2 by 2, so that is locked in. This one must grow because it's the only thing that can fill the gap. The only thing that can fill this gap is by that one growing. So that's a 3 by 3. Now the only thing that can fill this gap is that one growing. Now the only thing that can fill this gap is that one growing. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. So those, no, that's not true. So I need to use some of the concepts I've already learned, but I don't learn because I'm BremSter. Okay, so these are different colors. But they do not have to be different shapes. I hope people are enjoying this. I mean, there's a lot of people who've joined and left. So who knows? And I'm getting more Discord notifications from people. I absolutely have to see what they are. Okay. I should put out Discord notifications that I'm doing this, but if YouTube's not enough. So how do I use the concepts I've learned to make this work? I don't know. I don't see the start on this. Like I can see, I know a lot of people who solve these literally go, so if this is a 2x2, does that work or whatever? Or if these are connected, then what happens? Like if these are connected, then this is forced to be a 2x2 and then we go from there. And I think that's broken actually. If these are connected, this is forced to be a 2x2 and then what do I do with these cells? Well, you can, there's a link in the description to where you can buy the game, but you'd have to do all of the puzzles to unlock to get this far. I understand that, Kana. You'd be able to catch up with me pretty quick. You're smarter than I am, I expect. If these are connected, then this is forced to be a 2x2 because I couldn't make it a 3x1 and I can't go down. But then what do I do with these cells? That can't be a 2x2 and it can't be a 3 by anything. So these are separate. So that does that. That feels logic. It feels logic. And if these are connected, no, I don't think I've got the same thing here. So what's the next step? Well, I was lucky enough to get this game for a massive discount because when I streamed this last night, I got some very nice donations. Thank you, David Ratner, and thank you, Plank Time, who more than covered the price of the game when I streamed this last night. Not why I bought the game and not why I streamed. It will not work on your phone, Kana, no. This is Windows only at this point. So if this was a 3x3, if this was a 3 long, what would I do with these? That'd be a 2 long and couldn't go anywhere. So this cell is the key now. If this goes in, if this goes down and was a 3 long, this couldn't go anywhere. If it goes this way and was a 3 long, it couldn't go anywhere. So this is actually part of a 2x2. This must go down and can't be part of a 2x2. So that's part of a 3 long. I think. Because now I've got a count wrong. Well, the count can't be wrong. But now we've got problems. Because if this is a 3 and a 3, I'm in trouble. Because I can't make this a 2 by 2 without causing trapping. So this would have to be 3, 3, 3. And then I've got trouble. 3, and I'm trapped. But if this is a 2 by 2, I can't make this 3, 3 because then I've got the trapping problem again. So this becomes a 2 by 2. I can't make this a 3. I could do a 3 and a 2 by 2, but then I've got the trapping problem again. So this feels wrong. But how else could I do this? If I did a 3 this way or a 3 this way, I had a cell trapped. So this had to be part of a 2 by 2. So is this bit wrong? But once I've got this, I can't make it part of a 2 by 2. So how do I get out of here? I got it. I just had to do the count right. So I needed to figure out how many cells I had. I couldn't cross this boundary because if I crossed this boundary, I had the wrong number of cells to try and fill. So this boundary was locked. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, I could do the 6 down here and the 8 up here. And then I had to figure out how to fill this with only the right number of cell counts. That was tricky. And to complete this window, I've only got one more puzzle. And it's a 5. Oh dear. Hopefully I can finish this before I have to log off and go to work. Now, every piece has a bend in it. So these could be part of a W like that. But these must be connected, right? Because if, no, I could do that. No, I can't do that. So, but if I did that, this would have to be straight, and there is no straight. So these must be connected, because if these aren't connected, this goes up and then these would have to go up and this can't bend now. So these must be connected. Hey, Rockrat. But down here, these are 2 different shapes. But I could see multiple ways of doing that, and I'd like to prove this logically. It's the mess in the middle I'm staying with the mess in the middle. Actually, it's this, isn't it? It's this bit here that's going to be the issue. Because those must be connected and those must be connected. Because I can't do a run of 3. Which makes me feel it's going to have to be that. Because I can't make this a W. No, maybe I can. This could still become a W, but it must be at least that. And this must bend. Yeah, this feels forced. And this is now locked off. This could still go up. If this doesn't go up, what's this going to do? Because this has to be part of a bend. In fact, all of these have to be part of a bend. And if I did that, no, that could work. But I can't do that here. I can't do that. I can't make this sort of an S shape because I don't have room because this has come up. I feel, no, it can't do that. It must, no, it can't do that either. Oh, yeah, it must do that with that coming up. Otherwise, I run out of room now or leave gaps. This is now forced to do that. Now, this is a border, but I don't know if this is going to expand. Yeah, this game is great, Rockrat. I think you would love it. Now, these must connect. Let's change the color. These must connect, and it must bend, and it can't come into here because of the way the shapes work. Now, and it can't come into here because of the way the shapes work, and it can't come into here because of the way the shapes work. I can't draw a border there, but this is a different color. Because these could be the same. But this is the closest I get to doing pencil puzzles, because I can't get permission from pencil puzzle people because they're not on Sudoku Discords and they don't have email addresses and so if this wasn't the same color, if this was a different color and came out, this would need to be a long straight piece and it can't be. So this is the same. And if the bend was here, this would be trapped in. So it must do that. Then this must come out and it must bend. And this must come out and it must bend. And this can't continue anymore. This could continue if this makes a W. But this can't go this way. So this has to come out. But that could do that and this could be a W. Or it could do that, although that would trap this. Oh, if this goes this way, this is broken. There's nowhere for this to go. So this must do that. Actually, I don't know about that. But that means this can't grow, and this is a W. And now if this doesn't go down, those two pieces are trapped. That's that shape, and now we've got that shape, which may grow. This is beautiful. This actually has to be a W. It's the same as over here. Those are connected and those are connected. Let's change that color. So that is a W. And this must bend. That can't grow in that direction. I can see a solution now, which is just that. No, sorry, I did that wrong. That. No, I can't see a solution now. That. No, I still need to think this out. This feels correct, though. This piece must come out here. This piece must come out here. And we're trapped. No, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. So how did I mess this up? If I check this, this is wrong. No, hang on. Everything entered so far is correct. I've only used this on very hard puzzles, and this is difficulty 5. So yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Everything entered so far is correct. How? Nope. That ends. That ends. That is a W, and that is not a W for the win. Oh, and that unlocked new puzzles. There's a hidden 4. There's a hidden 5. There's a 6. There's a 4. There's a 4. There's a 7. No! Oh my lord, look at that shape. How? So it feels like it's got to do, like I can't even visualize that shape properly. This is where things get tricky, because even visualizing that shape is a nightmare. Yeah, this is wrong. Because it's that or something, isn't it? So what is it? It's... that. But that doesn't work. Because this... Yeah, I mean, that might be the shape, but it's left an orphan or something. Or does that come in here? Oh, no, that works. Is that the shape? I really can't tell. No, that is the shape. And then this... That's the... I'm sorry, this is terrible. So that's the T. That's the big L. Is it a big L with the little thing off it? And then that's the... I think that's the shape as well. I'm sorry, this is brutally rough. So is that the 3... That the 4. No, it can't be. Maybe it's that. No, can't be that either. That's the 2. We come up. That's the little S going into the 4. Then we've got the 3. But then I'd have to go up, wouldn't I? I can't follow this shape. Sorry, I can't do this in my head. It's absolutely rotten. That's the little 3. Then we've got the 4 followed by the 3 with the little offshoot. And off the 3, we need to draw that and that. And then this would be the same shape again. I'm sorry, this isn't an exercise in logic solving. It's an exercise in just can you map the shapes? And I don't find that anywhere near as fun. Okay, this has to come out. this has to come out and this has to come out. Once this comes out, it can't continue to be part of a 3 long. So the 3 long, and then this has to continue down, but this has to do the same. And now we're broken. So I've not understood the challenge here. This must come out. But that means this must do this, which has trapped that. So that doesn't work. Unless I'm doing... No, that's not going to work. If that's the 3 long that does something like that, allowing this to do something like that, and this to do something like that, allowing this to do something like that. Okay, that's tricky. There's a 5 over here. With a 4 there. I get the feeling I'm going to come back to a bunch of 5s and 6s. Because I'm going to have to stop for work soon. This must come out and therefore must continue. This has to come out and therefore must continue. Now what? So... that gives me that starting point. Now, is it down here on the edges? Because either those are connected or those are connected. Because this has to come out and this has to come out. But because if I look around here, there's lots of options. Now they may break with like lots of exploration, but you can see that there's all sorts of sort of stuff that's doable. So I don't like any of that exploration as ways of going. So I feel it's got to be these, but I'm trying to find the logical progression, because any of these seem to have lots of options. Yeah, can't go down from here. So where does this cell go? It can't go down, it has to go across. Well spotted. So now this cell has to go in a direction. But these can't go down. These have to go across. And now this has to go across. And now this has to go across. And now this has to go down. And now this has to go down. Beautifully spotted. And now these can't go across. This has to go down. And this has to go down. And now this has to go across. And now this has to go across, and this has to go across. And this has to go across, and this has to go across, and this has to go across, and this has to go across. And this can't go across. This has to go up. So now this goes across. And this goes up. And this now can't go across. It must go down, making that go across. And these must go across. And now these must go down. And now these must go down. That must go down. That must go down. That must go down across. Beautiful spot. Beautiful butterfly. So yeah, this was the opening, and then I needed to see what was going on with that cell. That cell was the key to the puzzle, and as soon as you saw that, the whole thing fell open. Having understood what was going on with these two definitely caused this to work better. I'm nervous about leaving myself with just 6s and stuff, but I should be able to progress onwards and do maybe some other areas and come back. I don't know, but we'll see. The second law of puzzling. Whenever you find a pair of cells that cannot be connected, draw a border between them. Well, this has to come out. This has to come out. So those can't be connected. This has to come out. This has to come out. This must come out and must continue to come out. This must continue to come out. Now, this must end. And this can't go this way. So this must come out. This must come this way. This must not continue. This must bend. That can't come out. This has to stop. Now this must come out, but it could link up. This must come out, but it could link up. So it's these two cells, I think. How do I fill these cells? Or how do I fill this cell? What is that cell going to be? Because it can't be purple. It can't be pink. It must come out. If it was to go up, those two cells are trapped. It must come down. And now it's absolutely complete. So that must hook up. That must hook up to make that a thing. That can't continue. That must go that way. That must go that way. That must hook up. That was clever. It's a shame that the company that makes this, oh, there's a hidden 4. It's a shame that the company that makes this will never know that I have tried to promote their game. Okay. So it's going to be these two cells as my expectation, because is it this cell? Yeah, this cell can't be part of a 4 long. So it's part of a 2 by 3. And I can't go 3 in that direction. So it has to be that. Now, every other cell seems to have more options. I've made the pool in the middle of the promenade. Now I need to finish the promenade. This cell can't be part of a 2 by 2. So it's part of a 4 long. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something in the middle. So I can't use like sandwich Sudoku to turn around and say if it starts from this end, it's going to include a certain number of cells. But this is part of a 4 long. And whichever 4 long it is prevents there being, no, it doesn't prevent there being a 4 long. because I could do 4 here and 4 here, and that seems like it would be okay. This cell seems to be the one that's restricted. It must be part of a 4 long. But how does that do anything? This is definitely going in one of these two directions. But I don't see... Because if it went this way, why couldn't I just put 4 longs down here? I don't see why not. So what's the logical reason? I mean, as I said, I could just start filling out and see if it breaks, which is, I know how a lot of people play these games, but I don't want to do that. I want to have the logical proof. Once again, BremSter's feeling like an idiot, but that's okay. I've always got one to hand. I get the feeling it's down here. Like if this cell was part of a 4 long, it would have to go this way, and then everything starts becoming forced. Hang on, if this cell is part of a 4 long, no, I could play with the count by moving this around. Well, this has to go in either all of one direction or all the other. Yeah. Because I can't do partially in one direction and partially in the other. So it's either all one way with a 2x3 or all the other way with a 2x3. Because if I was to just split it, then I'd have gaps that oh, maybe I could actually. Maybe it's this cell now? Or is it this? If this is this, then this becomes this, and we're broken. If this is a 4 long, it has to go that way, and then we're broken. Because we end up with this, we end up with this, we end up with this, and this can't do anything. So this is part of a 2x3. Which means it's taking all of those, doesn't it? Yeah. Can I tell which ones it's taking? Actually, I can see a solution now. Because just by counting the spaces, you can do that, 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 and you can do that. And you can just see it by counting the spaces. And it's a little bit messy. And the reason I think I prefer Sudoku to pencil puzzles is at some point, I think with almost every pencil puzzle I've done, someone has just turned around and said, this is the logic because it just has to work that way. And you say, okay, so what's the proof the other way doesn't work? And they say, if you go far enough, it breaks. And with that, it was like, well, this is just the way it had to work. And I could see that that was just the way it had to work. But proving the next step without doing everything else to prove that it breaks if you do it every other way, with most Sudoku that we do, not all of them, a lot of chains are coming in now. And I think it's because a lot of people are doing a lot more pencil puzzles now and setting a lot harder puzzles. But you get this whole concept of what you're working on right now leads to a deduction that you can make. Whereas you're not doing deduction as much with those. You're basically doing if all of this, you're doing nested if statements. And it's a different form of puzzle. It's basically a lot like a jigsaw puzzle. And jigsaw puzzles are bigger than Sudoku. So there's nothing wrong with that. I like doing jigsaw puzzles. I own several of them. But you're basically doing a jigsaw puzzle. You're trying to turn around and say, how does it all fit together? You're not trying to prove that the piece you're placing next is the only possible solution. You're just saying this is what fits. And I really should stop sometime soon because I'm leaving myself with these diabolical puzzles. I'm curious what this is. Note what you know. The key to success in trickier puzzles is marking down partial progress. Merge cells when you know they belong to the same region. Draw borders when you know they exist. Do this immediately, even if you don't know the full shape of a region. Filling in the facts will reveal new ways to make further progress until the puzzle is complete. Let's see how I go with this one. So we've got Rose Windows and Gemini. Oh, good God. Gemini with freeform shapes? Are you shitting me? So this red must come out and it must continue. And it must pick up a blue. It must continue. It must hit this blue and then it must stop. Can't continue. So this is the shape of this. And this has the same shape. But this red must come out and could be done right there. This shape has to come out. It's basically got to be that, doesn't it? Now this red must come out and stop. And that feels like it's just that. This feels forced, but once again, it's a feeling. This blue must come out. Now, if I did this, this would be isolated, and this can never come through either of these. So this is limited to those four. But it can't be a 2x2 because then this would have to be a 2x2 and I can't make this a 2x2. So this must be an elbow shape and this must be an elbow shape. So we've got that. This red must come out. Let's start doing some different colors. Let's make them a little bit more distinguished than that. This red must come out. It must pick up a blue. This red must come out and it must pick up a blue, but I could make those all that long and that would be fine. Now, the only thing I could do to grow this is move that one in there and that one in there. But if I did this, this blue couldn't come out, which it must do. So I think that's forced. This can come down here. This must be 3 long now, and it must go up. Otherwise, it's not picking up any shapes. This red must come out. This must come out. Okay. This all feels good so far. Hello, everyone watching. This blue must come out and must come out to get a red, which I think must be that. Yeah, that's forced because the blue must come out and must pick up a red and now it can't continue. So that is a forced shape. But now this must have the same shape. And I don't think it can. I must have made a mistake somewhere. This has to be wrong. This blue has to come out. If this is this way, so is this wrong? Did I make a mistake over here? No, everything I've entered so far is correct, which means this must be this, because it has to be a 3x1, and I can't take it. This has to be part of a 3x1. So this has to be correct. The red has to come out. I could do that, but even if I do that, this blue must come out. And it must continue, and it must continue, and it must pick up a red. And now it must stop. It can't grow in anywhere. So that shape is forced. But how do I do the same shape off here? Like that. No, that's not it. That would work, except this blue is trapped. But that's forced. That works as well. And that actually does work. They can fit into each other. Then that becomes a region. That becomes a region. And that becomes a region. Complete the final puzzle in the market area. That's not the final puzzle in the market area. Oh, it is the final puzzle in the market area, but it's not the... That's the final puzzle, but it's not the last puzzle. So this was the end puzzle of the market area, but these are all bonus puzzles. I might come back to these later. I want to see what the new rule is. All regions must have an area of exactly 4. That, right, none of these can't come down or I'd have border problems. So that must do that. That must do that, and that must do that. Exactly 3. So I feel like I'm playing... No, that can't be right. Oh my God, when we start getting to combos, look, there's still all of this to get into. Like, there's so many puzzles in this game. So I haven't done this area. I'm only just starting to come into this area here. I've done a lot of this area, but there's a few puzzles here, and I'm starting to explore my way into this area. Depict the shape. Oh, depicts the shape of its region. Wow. That's bonkers. But look how many of these puzzle boxes there are. There are puzzle boxes everywhere. And there's multiple windows here. So this is one direction. This is a different direction leading to different windows. And then there's a window here and there's a window here. Actually, that might not be a window, but there's a window here. There are so many puzzles, and that's before I get into all of this area that's still in the mist. This game is going to take me so many sessions. So I think BremSter Puzzles is going to get absolutely saturated with this game for a while. Sorry, everyone. But I really should log... Just one more. All regions must have an area of exactly 4. Why is this a problem? Hang on. Hang on. Must come out, must come out, must come out, must come out. That has to do that. So that can do that, that can do that, that can do that, and that can do that. Yes, please like, subscribe. Super thanks or super chat. Donate at Ko-fi below. Purchase the game and support the creator of this absolutely incredible thing. All regions must have a size of exactly 4, and these deltas means they can't be the same shape. Now this must come out, so this must grow, so this must bend because it must be a different shape. This must bend. Now this must grow out, but this is the same shape as this one. So this has to come out and this has to come out. So those regions are forced. This must come out. And now this has to do that and that has to do that. That's a really clever little puzzle. Seven. Well, that's a 3. This has to be a different color because of the border. So yellow must grow. This must be a different color because of the border, and yellow must grow. Orange must grow. This is a different color to orange, and orange must grow, and yellow must grow, and red must grow. This is a different color to red. Red must grow. Yellow must grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the end of yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue must grow. This is a different color to blue, which still must grow. Blue must grow. 1, 2, 3, but orange must grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the end of peach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This must grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This must grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the end of red. This must grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the end of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. And we do this in chaos construction. I'm hoping this makes me better at chaos construction. Maybe? Of course, the rules in these so far are better. Can you imagine what's going to happen with chaos construction puzzles after people watch or play this game? This is basically chaos construction. Size 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's how many squares? There's probably 33. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, hang on. Yeah, there's going to be 3 regions. There's not enough squares to pick up another region. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 isn't going to work. I can't only go up because then these would be cut off. I must go this way one more. Now I could go up and pick up all of these as yellow. All of these as green. That kind of works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then these all become green. And that's so I don't cut off those central cells. I could stop if I wanted. And there's all, what I'm not a fan of is these little hidden puzzles that are hidden under trees and stuff. Exactly 3. So if this went across, I couldn't do a 3 region here. So this must go down. That's a 3 region. That's now a 3 region. That's a 3 region. That's a 3 region. That's a 3 region. That's a 3 region, and that's a 3 region. I need to stop. I need to stop. Thank you everyone for watching. Let's go back to the main menu. Thank you everyone for watching. Now, one of the things I've noticed about this game is it has a workshop where you can make your own puzzles. So what I'm wondering whether will happen here is I have no idea how you can export them, but whether people are going to be able to make their own puzzles and then share them with people so that you could actually have puzzles in this that could be done as a people have created puzzles for Artisan of Glimmith stream where they've actually been submitted to the channel or something like that. So this would be a really, really weird one for people to make puzzles. My concern with that would be that people just try and make such diabolically hard puzzles that they're just trying to make it that they're like impossible to solve. That's not the point. The point is to make them interesting, not to turn around and go, ha ha ha, I've played a trick on you. That's just dumb. What you want is a puzzle that's interesting, that makes people go, oh wow, you want people to feel achievement, and you want them to feel excitement when they discover something, not feel relief when they finally find the one thing that works. So if you're ever making puzzles for this, remember the point is to be elegant, not to just be diabolical, because so many people feel that they just need to do the hardest thing possible. That's not the point. This is a really fun game. I'm enjoying this. And I hope you're all enjoying the streams. People seem to be enjoying them. A bunch of people come in, not many people chat. Anyone who's a subscriber can chat. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and you can chat. And the point of that is to keep the bots away, because lots of bots are commenting on my videos right now. Trying to get them all, but it's hard to do. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying this one as much as I am. Again, like, subscribe, all of the good YouTube stuff that makes them happy. And as always, good luck with your solving. Bye everyone.